Hey everyone, thanks for learning to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm looking at a brand new game coming to Kickstarter called Lord of Loot. This is a new one by PKB Games. It is a 1 to 5 player game that takes roughly 60 to 120 minutes to play, and is a fully cooperative game where all the players are working together to take down the two bosses that those players have selected before time runs out. Throughout the game, players are going to be working together, building up their characters, leveling them up, gaining new spells, all kinds of new items, all kinds of upgraded equipment and powerful equipment to take down the bosses and all the other enemies that are going to be trying to tear them up throughout the game. So in this video, I'm going to go over the main features of the game and also show you a sample turn to give you a better idea of how this one plays and whether or not this one you want to back on Kickstarter. As always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we continue to grow and build and produce this content. If you want to get notified anytime I drop new videos, hit that notification bell and I'll let you know when I drop new stuff. Before getting into the video, I do also want to point out that all materials that you see here are prototype materials that are subject to change and will look a lot better than the final production copy of the game. So let's go ahead and hit the table. We'll see what this one's all about. So let's start by taking a look at the different heroes that players can play as. So each hero is going to have its own dashboard that is going to have most of the information for that hero. At the top of the board is going to be the hero's stamina and health. And as the hero takes damage, you're going to first take it from stamina, making your way from the left all the way to the right. And if a hero ever runs out of all of his or her health, then that player has been eliminated. Now, to replenish that, you're going to need either first aid for health or different fruits and berries and other things for stamina. And there's going to be a whole collection of these different things, such as first aid kits or different foods that the hero will have. On top of that, there are all kinds of other items the hero can gain as well, such as gems that will get you some coins or different potions that'll do additional damage, fire tokens, and all kinds of different resources the hero is going to be able to use along the way. Each hero is also going to have slots for their different spells, and as you gain spells, they're going to be placed in those slots, and those will allow you to do all kinds of different things, including trading different resources in for bag pulls or converting different resources into other resources and all kinds of other things. Lastly, each hero is also going to be able to equip both a weapon and a shield. And initially, the hero is going to start with nothing, and it'll show you what the hero will roll for the hero's dice. And you're going to have two different types of dice for the hero. You'll have their attack dice that are 50-50, with half of the sides having swords and half of the sides being blank. And their blue dice for defense, and again, same thing, 50-50. Half of the sides will have shields and half of the sides won't. And then as the heroes gain new items, they're going to be slotted into those different slots, which will give the hero bumps in both their attack and defense, and will also potentially give them bonuses against other types or specific types of enemies, or just straight up successes. Now, each of the different items can also be upgraded, flipping it over to its upgraded side, and it will give you additional bonuses for that item. As heroes level up into the higher levels, they'll be able to equip higher level items, such as the iron items, or when a hero moves into level 3, then the gold items. And each one of these obviously is more powerful along the way, and their upgraded side is even better. So this one, for example, will give you 2 auto successes, and you roll 2 dice for that. And on the other side is the hero's backpack, and the hero's backpack is going to be able to carry as many items as you can fit in there. So along the way, you can have different armors in there and whatnot, and then different potions and whatnot. So as much as you can fit in there physically is what you can carry. And there are 5 different heroes included in the game. The Knight, who has both defense and offense to start the game. You're also going to have the Witch, and with the Witch, anytime she gains spells, she's going to get to draw 2 of them from the bag. So she has extra spell slots. She can have tons of different options there. Then you're going to have the creature Wampy, and he is the most offensive character to start off the game, as he has 2 attack dice, even right from the get-go. Next is the Wormkin, and she is going to have 5 actions instead of 4 like the rest of the characters, but she also cannot use any item that has mushrooms to regain stamina. And the final hero is the Druid, who has the most hit points and stamina to start the game. Now that we've gone over the different heroes, let's take a look at the enemies the heroes are going to face throughout the game. So there are 3 main groups of enemies that you're going to be using throughout the game. Those are the green hordes, the purple magic creatures, and the beige undead. And each one of them is going to have 3 levels of enemies. So whenever you're required to generate a new enemy, you're going to roll the die, and that's going to tell you the level and color of enemy that you're going to place out. And each one of these enemies, when defeated, is going to give you some sort of reward, such as bag pulls and items or other things that you'll be able to gain throughout the game. Also, it is important if heroes defeat higher level enemies, then that hero is going to level up. So that's the one way that the heroes will gain additional levels. Now, beyond these enemies, there are also 2 other enemies that you can potentially see in the game. You're always going to have guards in the game, and they're simply very easy, light enemies to take out. They're going to use an orange die and will get you 2 bag pulls. So they're always going to be out. And an optional enemy to make the game even harder, if you want, are the imps. And these guys are super nasty and will be placed out at different intervals throughout the game if you choose to use them. The final type of enemy are the bosses that are going to be used in the game. In each game, when you start during setup, you're going to choose 2 bosses. You can do this randomly or choose 2 that you would like to take on. Each one is going to have its own entry in the book that is going to give you some backstory about that boss, its image and where it's going to be placed along with its home base, and any quests, particular tokens or things you're going to use, as well as the requirements to complete those quests. Now, each boss is going to work a little bit differently, and in order to actually be able to damage the boss, you must complete all of his or her quests first before you are able to do damage. Now, bosses will be out on the board and are very nasty, so you want to try to stay away from them until you're able to complete their quests. So, for example, with the pet napper here, he has 3 different quests that you must complete, which are the 3 different little characters out here, and each one of them requires or wants their pet back. So you'll have to travel throughout the game, gaining those pets and bringing them back into the spaces that particular character is at to complete those quests. And each one works a little bit differently. Once you've taken care of all the quests, then you can challenge the boss, who is going to be rolling 4 purple dice, and these are super nasty enemy dice, which all the enemies are going to roll, with 50% of the sides having shields and 50% of the sides having swords. And there are no misses, so they're always going to either be doing damage or defending against the attacks, and you're going to have to deal 4 wounds to take those big guys down. Another important aspect of the game is the monster deck, and this is going to be resolved during the monster phase, either after every player's turn or every other player's turn, depending upon the number of players that are playing. Now, with this, I did re-record this, as I did make a mistake, and I will make a mistake a little bit later in the video as well, but I wanted to correct that here. So during the monster phase, if you're playing, depending upon the number of players, you're going to draw and resolve a monster card from that monster deck. Each of these cards is going to have a number of icons on it that you're going to resolve, and this is either going to be for the bosses or minions or both. So with this card, for example, the boss is going to move, then you're going to drop 2 black tokens into that space that you'll draw from the black bag, and then the monster is going to attack a hero in that space if there is one. Then that is it. Now, if you ever run out of this deck, so let's say that you have to draw a card and there are no cards left in the deck, then you're going to take a card from the other side, the red monster cards, and add that to the discard pile, and then reshuffle that pile to create a new monster deck. And this is going to continue going until you have to draw a card and all of the monster cards have been resolved. And there are no more cards in the draw pile, and there are no cards in the red pile either. Then that game is over and the players have lost. The final thing I want to do is take you through a couple of sample turns to give you a better idea how this one plays. So for this example, I have set up for 3 different characters that I'm going to be using. And so during the game, each character is going to get to take a turn. And after each character's turn, then the monsters are going to take a turn where you're going to reveal a monster card and handle the effects of that. Now, there is one difference to that if you're playing a higher player count. So 4 and 5 heroes, there will be a separation where certain ones you won't have the monsters drawn. So anyways, getting into the turns, each player during their turn is going to get to do a number of steps. So at the beginning of each player's turn, the first thing you're going to do is that your hero is going to be hungry. So if you're in one of the spaces that has the blue circle around it, you are going to be fed in that space, and so you don't have to worry about it. Any other space that you're on, you will have to either eat a green food item, which you're going to find from the red bag, or you are going to take 1 wound, so removing 1 heart from the leftmost space you have hearts. After that, then it's going to move into your turn sequence where you're going to get to perform up to 4 actions. And those actions, there are 6 different options for those actions, which include moving, exploring new locations, or exploiting locations that are already out that have a circle on them, which I'll cover, and or trading with other players and entering into combat, or taking and picking up things that are on those spaces. From there, then you'd move into the monster phase, again with the lower player counts. And so let's go ahead and take a look at how this is going to work. So my starting player is going to be my wizard or sorceress. And during her turn, she is in a blue space, so she doesn't have to worry about eating food. From there, she is just starting out, so definitely getting some items and things would be helpful. So she does have a guard up here that's just lazily sleeping over there, but he does give a pull from the black bag and a pull from the yellow bag. So black bag is weapons and shields, and the yellow bag is spells, and with her being the sorceress, anytime she takes a spell from the spell bag, she gets to take 2 of them, so that's really helpful for her, hopefully. So let's go ahead and start off by doing my first action, which is a move action. That'll let me move into this space. My second action, I'm going to go ahead and move into here, and my third action, I'm going to go ahead and attack that guard. So she's going to roll 1 orange die, and the guard also rolls 1 orange die. So I'll go ahead and handle the guard first, and he rolls a blank. And then with her roll, she also rolls a blank, but let's go ahead and say for the example here that she rolled a sword. In that situation, she's going to deal 1 damage to the guard, and he only has 1 hit point. So he's going to be removed and defeated, and then she is going to get to draw those things from the bag. And if the guard would have rolled a sword, she would have taken a damage for that. So first off, let's draw an item from the bag. And we pull. All right, so I've got a shield. And this is a iron shield, so I won't be able to use this yet until I go into the iron level, or I have to level up my character to iron, which is going to be the silver. All right, so that is a pretty good shield though, so hopefully I will be able to get that. And then after that, then I am going to go ahead and draw some spells from the bag. I get 2 of them with her. All right, so my first spell and my second spell. All right. So with those, then those are going to go into my spell slots. And she has a lot of spell slots, so we'll see how that goes. And each one of them lets me do some different stuff, basically trading in different resources to gain health or stamina, as well as doing some other stuff. All right, so she has 1 action remaining, so I'm going to go ahead and explore that tile. So I'm going to reveal the top tile from the stack there. All right, and that one lets me gain another spell. All right, so I will go ahead and handle that real quick. And again, she gets to draw 2 of them. So the next one is she can trade in, it looks like, wood and a food item to draw from the black bag. Okay, so that could be good. And then the next one is a wood or iron, it looks like, for a coin. All right. That is her turn. So at this point, now it moves into the monster's turn. So first off, I'm using, so the different bosses will have different effects. And so the one boss that I have up there is going to, which is basically Sauron, is going to have one of the gnomes or hobbits move 1 space towards him. It's going to be based on wherever the daytime stuff is. So with that being said, it's going to be this guy here, so he's going to move up 1 space as he's making his way towards the volcano. And if one of the gnomes makes it to the volcano, then the heroes have lost. So the heroes are going to have to go and eliminate the different gnomes that are out there. All right, from there, then we're going to draw a card from the bag. So it's going to have each monster move 1 space and attack. Currently, there are no monsters out, as they're just the bosses, and the gnomes do not count for those purposes. And then next, if there are 0 monsters out, you're going to spawn a new monster. So in order to do that, I'll roll a die. And it's a 2, so it's going to be a vampire, purple vampire. is going to come out, and he's going to be placed into the sunset space. And since there are 2 of those spaces, I do have to spawn 2 monsters for those purposes. All right, and then we have a goblin that's going to be up here. All right, then it moves into the next player's turn. So we have the druid over here. So with the druid, I am going to... So in order to beat the bosses, you have to complete all of their quests. So we have one of the bosses, you have to collect different items and then get them to their respective little characters up there. So I could make my way down and try to pick up the fat kitty, and that might be a good space to start. So I'm going to go ahead and move for my first action, move for my second, move for my third, and then I think I will explore this tile for my last one. All right, so this one lets me draw from the bag. And it looks like I get to draw a green item from the bag. So I think I have to pull one of those. Let me double check that just to make sure. Draw from the red bag until you receive a green item. Yep. All right. So that's a good spot to go and get some food. And this one does have the little circle on it, so I can exploit that to continue to do that same action. All right. So here we go. There's a green item. And that'll go into my backpack. All right. After that, then that is his turn as I moved 3 times and explored. So then his turn is over. Again, we're going to go into the monster turn. So again, this guy is going to continue moving. And then we have a new monster card. And that's going to have the boss move and then drop some items and then attack if able. All right, so the bosses are going to move towards the closest character. So he's going to move down, and he's going to drop 2 items from there. All right, he's dropping 2 items from the red bag. So first one and second one. Okay. So these will go into that space. And then this boss is going to move down 1 and drop 2 items into that area. And then he is going to attack my poor sorceress, so that's not good. All right. So we got some, looks like some bones and some wood that he's going to drop into there. All right, and then he's going to attack. He rolls 4 purple dice, and she doesn't have any defense right now. Unfortunately, she doesn't have that item, so. And 3 damage to her. Ouch. Not good at all. Okay. That is her turn. Or that is the monster turn. So then it's going to move up to my next character to go. And with that character, I will move down. I will move over here. I'm going to go ahead and attack that guy. So this guy is very powerful. He gets 2 attack dice right off the bat, and he is going to be rolling 1 monster die in response. And we both rolled 1 attack. So I'm going to take 1 damage for that, as I don't have any defense. And then I am going to eliminate him. All right, and when I complete a quest, as I was able to defeat one of those gnomes, which is one of the 3 quests that you need to do to be able to attack and defeat the boss. So up until that point, even with my character being in there right now, she could attack him, but she's not going to do any damage, as he still has 2 gnomes out, or 2 quests that need to be completed. All right, so since I defeated the gnome, I also get to draw 1 item from one of the bags. So I'm going to go ahead and take 1 from the weapon bag and hopefully find a good weapon that I could potentially use here. If I can find a wood one, I'll be able to use that right away. All right, and I found another gold or another iron shield, so that'll unfortunately have to go in there as well. And that is his turn. Well, he moved twice and attacked, so I do have 1 action remaining. So I'm going to go ahead and explore as well. All right, and I get to draw another item from the black bag. So I got another shot at this here. We'll see maybe if I can get something else here. And in order to level up, I have to defeat a monster of a higher level. Ooh, wow, I found a gold sword, a fire sword. Wow, okay, so got a couple of really good items when I go up into the higher levels. So we'll see how that happens, or how I can do that. Now I have done all my actions, so now it is the enemy's turn. So first off, a gnome is going to move. Again, it's going to be based on the day. And we have the sun gnome left and the moon gnome, so those are not active right now. So the next thing is to reveal a card. All right, so we again have the bosses moving, dropping, and attacking. Ooh boy. Okay, so this boss here is going to move and drop 2 more items. And then he has nobody to attack. Unfortunately, the other boss is going to do some more damage to our poor sorceress. But he's going to drop 2 more items in there, so if she can live through this, she's got some good stuff that she could potentially pick up here. We got a black bag pull and a mushroom. Okay, so then he is going to attack, because he's not going to move as she's already in there. And 3 more damage, so she is defeated. That's not good. All right, so unfortunately, when a character gets defeated, you're going to remove that character, and there's 2 different things with this. So if you were playing the game with kids, there is a lighter version where your heroes don't actually get defeated. They are going to be returned to the castle. They'll get a couple of hit points, and then they can continue on. In a full game, you would drop a tombstone in the clouds, and then you'll have to choose another hero to take on and continue the adventure with. So that is going to be that part of it. Unfortunately, our sorceress has been eliminated at this point. And that is the end of the enemy of that part. So now it's going to tick that forward. So now we're into the day. And then it is back over to our new hero that would go. So at this point, then, it's going to continue going round after round, turn after turn, until either the heroes have completed the 2 quests, or defeated the 2 bosses by completing all the quests and then attacking those bosses, or if the deck runs out. So let's go ahead and say after each of the heroes goes, a card is revealed. When there are no more cards to reveal, then you are going to flip one of these over and reshuffle this deck, creating a new enemy deck. That's going to continue going until you have to draw a card and there are no more red cards to reset that deck. Well, I hope you found this video helpful in learning more about Lords of Loot and whether or not this is one you want to back on Kickstarter. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post those in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them, or swing by the Kickstarter page and drop any questions you have there as well. I'm sure the creators love to hear from you and are more than happy to answer any questions you have. Until next time, I'll see you later.